On a humid evening in August 1977, while the rest of the world was humming along to the top hits of Fleetwood Mac and anticipating the release of the next Star Wars showing, a silent, invisible beam of energy traveled through the cold vacuum of space and struck a metal mesh structure in the middle of an Ohio peach orchard. It lasted only 72 seconds. It never returned. But in those 72 seconds, humanity may have finally received the call it had been waiting for since the dawn of time. This is the story of the WOW signal, the most profound, frustrating, and enduring mystery in the history of science. The Silent Sentinel of Delaware, Ohio. To understand the mystery, you first have to understand the machine that caught it. Tucked away on the grounds of Ohio Wesleyan University was the Ohio State University Radio Observatory, affectionately known as Big Ear. It didn't look like the iconic round satellite dishes we see today in movies like Contact. Instead, Big Ear was a massive, flat expanse of aluminum and wire, roughly the size of 3 football fields. It was a fixed telescope. It didn't track the stars by moving. Instead, it sat still and let the Earth's rotation sweep the sky across its path, listening to the static of the cosmos. By 1977, Big Ear was an underdog. Funding was tight and the staff was largely made up of volunteers. Among them was Dr. Jerry Amon, a professor and scientist who spent his nights and weekends poring over stacks of fan-fold computer paper. In the 1970s, data processing wasn't a click of a mouse. It was a mechanical process involving an IBM 1130 computer that churned out long ribbons of paper covered in a grid of numbers and letters. Jerry's job was simple but tedious. Look for a needle in a haystack of cosmic noise. August 15th, 1977, the moment of impact. The signal actually arrived on August 15th, but Jerry didn't see it until a few days later when he arrived to collect the latest batch of printouts. As he sat in his office, his eyes scanning the columns of data, he saw something that made his heart skip a beat. On a radio telescope's printout, the intensity of a signal is represented by a scale of 1 to 9, and then by letters A through Z to represent even higher intensities. Most of the page was filled with 1s and 2s, the ambient hiss of the universe. But there, in a narrow column representing the 1420 megahertz frequency, was a sequence that looked like a vertical scar on the page. 6 E Q U J 5. Jerry stared at it. In the language of the Big Ear, this wasn't just a blip, it was an explosion. 6 was the start. E and Q meant the signal was surging. U was the peak. It was over 30 times stronger than the background noise of deep space. J and 5 showed the signal fading away as the Earth's rotation moved the telescope's eye past that specific point in the sky. The shape of the signal was perfect. It wasn't a shout from a nearby planet or a messy burst from a dying star. It was a clean, narrow-band spike. It was exactly what a deliberate astronomical transmission from an advanced civilization was predicted to look like. Stunned, Jerry took a red pen and circled the sequence. In the left margin, he wrote the single word that would define the mystery for the next half-century. Wow. The magic frequency. Why did that specific sequence freak Jerry Amon out so much? It wasn't just the strength, it was the location on the radio dial. The signal was clocked at 1420.405 megahertz. To a layman, that's just a number. To an astronomer, that is the holy grail frequency. This is the frequency of neutral hydrogen, the most abundant element in the universe. In the 1950s, physicists Giuseppe Cocconi and Philip Morrison argued that if an alien civilization wanted to talk to us, they would choose a frequency that is universally significant. Hydrogen atoms naturally vibrate at 1420 megahertz. It's a universal yardstick. Any species smart enough to build a radio would know about it. Furthermore, 1420 megahertz falls within the water hole, a quiet part of the radio spectrum where there is very little cosmic interference. It's like finding a silent room in the middle of a screaming stadium. If you want to be heard, you go to the waterhole. The wow signal was parked right in the center of that silence. The hunt for an explanation. Once the discovery was shared, the scientific community went into overdrive. If this was a hello from the stars, where did it come from? The big ear pointed towards the constellation Sagittarius, near a group of stars known as Chi Sagittarius. This is the direction of the center of our Milky Way galaxy, the most densely populated part of our cosmic neighborhood. But as the days turned into weeks and weeks into years, the mystery only deepened. Was it a satellite? No. Investigators checked secret military records and NASA flight paths. No known satellite was broadcasting on that protected frequency at that time. Was it a reflection? Could a radio signal from Earth have bounced off a piece of space debris? Unlikely. The signal had a specific Earth stationary characteristic, meaning it moved exactly with the stars, not like an object in our orbit. Was it a comet? Decades later, a theory emerged that hydrogen clouds from passing comets P/2008Y2 and 266P Christensen might have caused the blip. But Jerry Amon himself and many other astronomers debunked this. Comets don't produce signals that sharp or that intense at 1420 megahertz. The most haunting part is that Big Ear had two horns, two separate receivers that scanned the same patch of sky a few minutes apart. If a signal was real and stayed in one place, it should have been detected twice, once by the first horn, then a few minutes later by the second. The wow signal appeared in the first horn and was completely gone by the time the second horn arrived. It was as if something had turned on a flashlight, shone it directly at Earth for 72 seconds, and then flicked the switch off forever. The silence that followed. In the years following 1977, astronomers returned to that same patch of sky in Sagittarius hundreds of times. They used much more powerful tools like the VLA in New Mexico and the now lost Arecibo Observatory in Puerto Rico. They heard nothing. Only the cold, indifferent static of the void. This is the great frustration of the wow signal. In science, a discovery must be repeatable. If you can't see it twice, you can't prove what it was. Because the signal never returned, it remains in the purgatory of unexplained phenomena. It is the ultimate cosmic tease. If we assume for a moment that the wow signal was intentional message, what does that mean? If the signal came from the vicinity of the stars near Sagittarius, it would have traveled for roughly 200 to 1,000 years before reaching Jerry Amon's telescope. That means whoever sent it might be long gone by the time we even realized they had spoken. It also speaks to the sheer scale of the challenge. The wow signal was incredibly powerful. To broadcast a signal that strong across hundreds of light years would require an energy source far beyond anything humanity currently possesses, perhaps the entire energy output of a sun. Is there someone out there with the power to move stars calling out into the dark, hoping for a wow in return? The legacy of the Big Ear. The Big Ear telescope was eventually demolished in 1998 to make room for, of all things, an expansion of a nearby golf course. The site where humanity may have touched the infinite is now a fairway where people hunt for lost golf balls instead of lost civilizations.
Jerry Amon remains humble about his discovery. He doesn't claim he found aliens. He simply claims he found something he couldn't explain. He remains the man who caught the universe whispering. The wow signal serves as a reminder of our place in the cosmos. We are a young, loud species on a small blue rock, listening to the vast, ancient silence around us. For 72 seconds in 1977, that silence was broken. Whether it was a cosmic fluke, a natural anomaly, or a greeting from a distant shore, it changed the way we look at the night sky. Every time you look up at the stars in the constellation Sagittarius, remember that 6EQJU5 is still out there, etched into the history of our world, a riddle waiting for an answer. Since the discovery of the wow signal in 1977, the scientific community has treated it like a cosmic cold case. For decades, we knew what we heard, but we had no idea who or what star system might have sent it. That changed recently. Let's dive into the modern hunt for the origin of the signal and the specific star system that has scientists holding their breath. The breakthrough, finding the sun in Sagittarius. In 2022, an amateur astronomer and researcher named Alberto Caballero published a paper that sent shockwaves through the SETI community. He decided to do something no one had successfully done before. He cross-referenced the coordinates of the WOW signal with the massive Gaia archive, a database of over 1 billion stars. Caballero wasn't just looking for any star, he was looking for a solar analog, a star that is almost identical to our sun in temperature, size, and luminosity. His logic was simple. If life like ours sent the signal, they likely live near a star like ours. The prime suspect, 2-mass 19281982-2640123. Out of thousands of stars in that region, one stood out as a perfect match. Distance, approximately 1,800 light-years away. Star type, G-type, just like our sun. Temperature, nearly identical to the sun's 5,778 Kelvin. If a planet exists in the Goldilocks zone of this star, it could host liquid water and an advanced civilization. If they sent the signal in the late 18th or early 19th century, it would have reached Ohio right on schedule in 1977. Why 1420 MHz? The water hole explained. To understand why this signal is so significant, we have to look at the physics of the universe. In the vacuum of space, there is a lot of noise from pulsars, quasars, and black holes. However, there is a very specific window of silence known as the water hole. H, or hydrogen, emits radiation at 1420 MHz. OH, or hydroxyl, emits at 1666 MHz. When you combine H and OH, you get H2O, water. Scientists believe that any intelligent species would recognize this frequency range as a universal meeting point. It's the galactic equivalent of saying, "Meet me at the water cooler." The WOW signal wasn't just a random frequency, it was exactly at the 1420 MHz line of hydrogen, adjusted for the Earth's movement. The lighthouse theory. Why did it disappear? The most compelling explanation is the lighthouse effect. Imagine a lighthouse on a dark coast. The light is constantly spinning. If you are a ship at sea, you only see the flash for a few seconds before it disappears. If an alien civilization was sweeping a high-powered beam across the Milky Way to scan for life, the Earth may have just happened to be in the crosshairs for those 72 seconds. By the time the Big Ear Telescope's second receiver looked at that spot, the beam had already moved on to the next star system. Humanity answers back. The 2012 message. We didn't just sit in silence. On the 35th anniversary of the signal in 2012, the National Geographic Channel and the Arecibo Observatory teamed up to send a reply. They collected over 10,000 Twitter messages from all over the world and beamed them directly towards the coordinates of the original WOW signal. It was a digital time capsule containing our thoughts, jokes, and greetings. The irony, even at the speed of light, our reply won't reach the target stars for hundreds of years. If there is someone there to catch it, they won't hear us until the year 3800 AD. The mystery remains. Despite the new candidate stars and the sophisticated software of the 21st century, we have never heard the signal again. Jerry Emmon, the man who wrote WOW, remains skeptical but hopeful. He once said that if it was an alien signal, they might have been probing us, or perhaps they were just as surprised as we were. The WOW signal stands as a lonely monument in the history of science, a reminder that we are listening, and that for one brief minute in 1977, the universe might have been speaking.
December 2025, the arrival of 3I/Atlas. As we speak today, in the final days of 2025, the mystery has taken a strange turn. In July 2025, astronomers discovered a new interstellar object,
dubbed 3I/Atlas. Following in the footsteps of Oumuamua, this object entered our solar system from interstellar space. What makes 3I/Atlas different is its trajectory. It passed through the very region of Sagittarius where the WOW signal originated. As it reached its closest approach to Earth on December 19, 2025, Breakthrough Listen and the Meerkat Array in South Africa monitored it for radio emissions. While the initial data points to a natural cometary origin, the timing is uncanny. It has reignited the debate. Could the WOW signal have been a beacon from an interstellar probe that is only now reaching our neighborhood? The Sydney Protocols, preparing for the next WOW signal. In October 2025, the world's leading SETI researchers gathered in Sydney, Australia, to finalize the revised Declaration of Principles. They realized that in an era of social media and instant news, a second WOW signal would cause global chaos. The new protocols establish how a signal should be verified and, more importantly, how humanity should decide whether or not to respond. For the first time, we aren't just wondering if someone is out there, we are actively debating the laws of a post-contact world. Reflection: the loneliest number. Jerry Amon is now in his late 80s. He still receives mail every week from people claiming to have decoded the 6EQJY5 sequence. Some see it as a religious omen, others see it as a warning. But to Jerry and to the scientists who follow in his footsteps, the WOW signal remains a symbol of human curiosity. The story of the WOW signal is the story of us. It is the story of a species that refused to believe they were alone in an infinite dark ocean. Whether the signal was a magnetar, a dying world, or a simple hello from 1,800 light-years away, it forced us to look up. It forced us to build better tools, to ask harder questions, and to realize that even 72 seconds of something is enough to change the world forever. The universe is a big place, and if it's just us, it seems like an awful waste of space. As we stand in the closing days of December 2025, the WOW signal has transitioned from a dusty relic of the Cold War era into the ultimate catalyst for 21st century space exploration. While the signal itself remains a singular, unrepeated event, its impact on the human race has been anything but silent. This is the final chapter of a 48-year-old mystery, one that didn't end with a hello, but with a realization of who we are. The last guardian of the signal. In a quiet corner of Ohio, Jerry Amon, now an elder statesman of the scientific community, watches the snow fall. He rarely does interviews anymore, but when he does, his message is consistent. I didn't find aliens, I found a question. And questions are more important than answers. The WOW signal was the first time humanity realized that the radio spectrum wasn't just for TV broadcasts and military chatter. It was a cosmic canvas. Because of Jerry's red circle on that computer printout, the United States government and private billionaires eventually poured billions into SETI, Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence. Without the WOW, there might not have been Breakthrough Listen, no Allen Telescope Array, and perhaps even less interest in the strange flickering Tabby star or the interstellar visitor Oumuamua. 2026, the new years of humanity. As we look towards 2026, the hunt for the source of 6EQJY5 is entering its most sophisticated phase. The Square Kilometre Array, SKA, currently under construction in Australia and South Africa, will be thousands of times more sensitive than the Big Ear ever was. When it fully comes online, it will have the power to detect a single airport radar on a planet 50 light-years away. For the first time, we won't be waiting for a shout. We will be listening for the breathing of a civilization, the background hum of their power grids, their satellites, and their internal communications. If the WOW signal came from a civilization near the solar analog star 2-mass 19281982-2640123, the SKA will finally be able to hear their whispers. The mirror effect. Perhaps the most profound historical truth about the WOW signal is how it changed our own behavior. In the decades since 1977, we have become a loud planet. Between the Arecibo message, the Voyager Golden Records, and the 2012 Twitter broadcast toward Sagittarius, we have sent our own WOW signals into the dark. We are no longer just listeners, we are participants. The mystery of 1977 taught us that if we want to find someone, we have to be worth finding. It sparked a new era of planetary defense and galactic ethics, forcing us to ask, if we do hear them again, should we answer? The final mystery, was it us? In a final twist that surfaced in late 2025, some researchers proposed a time echo theory. It's a fringe idea, but it captures the imagination. Could the WOW signal have been a highly advanced future human mission's high-frequency transmission that, due to gravitational lensing or theoretical space-time anomalies, leaked back to 1977? While most scientists dismiss this, it highlights the legendary status of the signal. It has become a Rorschach test for humanity. To the skeptic, it's a pulsar or a comet. To the dreamer, it's a greeting. To the philosopher, it is a reminder of our terrifying isolation. The conclusion, a bridge to the stars. The story of the WOW signal isn't about a sequence of numbers and letters on a page. It's about a humid night in Ohio when a volunteer scientist saw something beautiful in the static. It's about the fact that for 72 seconds, the entire world, divided by the Cold War, politics, and borders, stood on the edge of the greatest discovery in human history. The WOW signal remains the most famous almost in science. It is the ghost in our machines, the whisper in the wind, and the light in the window of a house we haven't yet reached. As we move into 2026, we carry Jerry Amon's red pen with us, still circling the stars, still waiting, and still wondering. Because in a universe this big, wow is the only appropriate response. Thanks for watching.